So if I'm remembering correctly, you started writing the first book way before you actually published it. When you came back to it, what did you have to change? How did you have to make adjustments? Because the world was a different place when you came back to it or were publishing versus when you started writing it.
Well, it wasn't so much with the story itself because I love Denise Swanson's books,
Hmm.
and hers are set only like a few months apart or a month apart, and she does not write to keep up with the times. And so that's what I chose to do. So there's only 3 months between book one and book three, book two, book three, or, between each of the books.
Right.
So that was just a choice. And I never really completely put it in a set time because I was writing this one in 2014. I started doing it as a NaNoWriMo
Hmm.
project.
Hmm.
And I got about half of it written, 25,000. I didn't make the 50,000 goal. Um, but then I didn't finish it until 2018 because of life and other stuff going on. And then it didn't get published until 2024.
Okay.
So a lot of things did change though. I mean, I had to when I started writing initially in 2008 to get published, self-publishing was a big faux pas. No, no,
Yeah.
you don't do that.
Yeah.
People would look down on you if you wanted to self-publish. So I kind of would say I was out of the loop for about the 10 years. I used to be very involved with a couple writing groups, national chapters, and the local chapters. And then life got involved. I stopped going to so many meetings. And so I wasn't keeping up on the publishing world. So that was probably a big curve in just learning self publishing and how to do it, all the little ins and outs. Um, I watched a lot of tutorials, a lot of YouTubes.
Yeah.
So that was probably the biggest thing for me was just learning the self-publishing and the business and how it was now. And you know, everything is cozy.
Yeah.
And I was like, all these new genres and trying to learn the new lingo has probably been the most challenging. But
Yeah.
um,
What about things though, like, okay, and I asked this because this happened to me because I started writing my book a long time ago. And then when I picked it up, things like people didn't use cell phones as much when I first started writing the book. And when I started to develop she's like, so there was a whole scene where like my main character had to rush to get back to the room to get to her laptop to check her email, and my developmental
mhm,
editor was like, "Why doesn't she just like, check her phone?" And I was like, "Oh
yeah.
yeah." So like, did you have like anything like that where you had to make adjustments?
Um, Not that I can think of off the top of my head, but I know that my thing too is I have a bad thing with timing and figuring out my timeline.
Hmm.
So, making sure that she's not in a short sleeve shirt or like a swimsuit when and it's funny too, because when you go back and reread your stuff, you do catch things. I can't think of anything major like that though,
Yeah.
that sticks out.